Hey guys, I'm Steven and welcome to this video. In this video, I want to show you one thing that we often mistake for wisdom. But before we do that, I want to touch a little bit on wisdom. What is wisdom? Wisdom means specialized skill. In modern words, we can say wisdom is the tricks of the trade. It's sort of the skills that you only learn while you're doing the thing. Let's say, for example, you're someone who wants to learn how to trade. You can either choose to read books on how to trade or watch YouTube videos. But all of that information, if you're just reading it or watching videos on trading, it will not make you a good trader. And as you trade, but the only way to be wise in trading is to actually go into a trading platform and trade. Whether artificially or with actual money, right? So you learn how to trade, and by trading, you pick up certain skills, certain tricks on how trading works, and those skills that you pick up as you're trading, it's called wisdom. For example, you have Warren Buffett. He's one of the most amazing investors in our generation, right? Or older generation. So Warren Buffett has been an investor for a long time. There's certain tricks and certain secrets that he picked up throughout the years that makes him so valuable, that makes him so much money. Those skills and those tricks and those secrets, those trading and experience is what you call wisdom, right? Wisdom is not necessarily always experience, but because you can have experience and learn the lesson. But it's when you apply yourself and you do something and you pick up certain lessons as you are doing the thing. That skill that you pick up while you're doing the thing is called wisdom. I sort of repeated myself over and over again. So, okay, let's go back to what is the one thing that we often mistake for wisdom. The one thing that we often mistake for wisdom is the gift of the gap, is the ability to speak, to communicate. How many times have you met people like that who can speak really well? Every time they open their mouth, whatever they say just sounds so good. They could be saying things that are just obvious, things that just sound so sweet, but they have an ability to string words together, string paragraphs together that elicit an emotion, or just the way it just sounds so sweet and we want to listen to it, right? But it does not necessarily mean just because someone can speak well, it doesn't mean that they're wise. It just means they can speak well. And I learned to make the distinction between the two. Why? Because it's important to make the association that wisdom means skill. Let me give you an example. For example, you take the individual that can speak really well and you bring them to solve a couple's problem. Let's say the couple are going through a marriage issue and they're on the verge of divorce, and they need help, they need counseling. So you take this person who can speak really well and you take them to the couple and you expect just because they can speak well that they'll be able to solve the problem. But the reality is the person who can speak well might have no idea about marriage. They may have no idea about relationships. So even though they can communicate well, they're useless in that situation. Not that they are a bad person, it's just they don't have the skill in relationships. But you can take someone else who's been married before, who's written books on marriage or written articles on marriage, and you take that individual who might not be as articulate as person A, and you take that person to the couple to solve the problem, even though he might not be as articulate, right? There's higher chance that that individual that has experience, that has skill in relationships, will be able to solve this couple's marriage problem. Does that make sense to you? Why? Because wisdom means skill. So the person who can speak well, their skill is in communication. Their wisdom is communication itself. Let's say, for example, if you're someone who can speak very well, sometimes people can put so much trust on you that they'll start to put so much pressure and so much responsibilities that are really just way beyond your skill level. But because you can communicate well, they trust that you are able to solve the problem. Why? Because people that can communicate well just they exude a leadership capacity that makes people want to trust them. But as a person who can speak well, you have to be careful not to allow people to put responsibilities on you that are way beyond your skill level. So there's a difference between being able to communicate well and having wisdom in a particular thing. So If you don't have the skill in relationships, don't try to go and try to solve people's relationships. If you have no skill in solving cars or being a mechanic, don't try to go and become a mechanic. Why? Even though you can speak well, you still go out of your way to call a mechanic to come and to come and fix your car. But you might communicate well to your mechanic so that you can explain what the problem is with your car. But it doesn't mean just because you can speak well, you can fix your car by yourself. You need somebody that has the wisdom on how to solve the car, how to fix a car. Does that make sense? So I want you to differentiate that. I want you to differentiate the ability to speak from wisdom itself, because wisdom is skill. And if you can speak, maybe your ability is speaking itself. And there are many people in the world that make millions and millions and millions and billions of dollars just by speaking. Why? Because that's their skill. They can take any information, and just communicate it so well. And if that is you, then understand that that is your area of wisdom, because wisdom means skill. And if you're skillful in that thing, then that thing is your wisdom. Does that make sense? I hope I've explained myself well, and I hope you like this video. And if you do, please like it and share it. And I'll look forward to meeting you in the next video.